Okay, it's your old pal Uncle Matty, and here's our boy Darrell Brooks, the clown that drove through the parade and killed five adults and one child. Maybe more deaths on the way. We don't know. A lot of people are still in critical condition there in Wisconsin. A lot of people probably aren't even paying attention to this case. Uh, Knowing the Antifa BLM crowd, they're probably hailing him as a hero. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Anyway, the rap sheet on this guy, I don't even know how he was loose on the public. When they're reading the rap sheet, today was his first day in court. When they're reading the rap sheet, it's over 8 minutes long. So let's go to the YouTube video and let's listen to the rap sheet.
And I, again, have found probable cause to each of the 5 counts upon my review of the pleading. So we will turn to Attorney Opper for her bail recommendation.
Thank you, sir. As to bail recommendation, Your Honor, I'd like the court to be aware of a prior criminal history as it relates to Mr. Brooks. I can advise the court he has arrest record from 3 states, to include Wisconsin, Nevada, and Georgia. Starting with the state of Wisconsin, the record begins in 2000. There was a conviction in that year for substantial battery, party to a crime. A prison sentence was imposed but stayed for 3 years probation and 6 months condition time. 2002, conviction for possession of marijuana as a repeat offender, sentenced to 50 days in the House of Correction. 2003, misdemeanor conviction for resisting obstructing, sentenced to 20 days in the House of Correction. 2005, there's an arrest from Langlade County. Ultimately, he was convicted of a county ordinance violation for disorderly conduct. What's remarkable about that is that he failed to pay the fine, so he was ordered to serve 30 days in jail on the non-payment. 2009 Manitowoc County conviction for obstructing an officer, sentenced to 2 days jail, time served. 2010 conviction from Wood County, Wisconsin. He was convicted of the offense of strangulation/suffocation with other charges of battery and criminal damage to property dismissed and read in. The court ordered a withheld sentence for 3 years probation. That probation was revoked, and on August 1 of 2011, he was sentenced to 11 months jail. 2012, he was convicted at the same time on 2 separate files in Milwaukee County. First file was a charge for possession of marijuana as a repeat offender, sentenced to 180 days in the House of Correction. The second file, he was convicted of misdemeanor bail jumping and misdemeanor possession of THC, also sentenced to 180 days in the House of Correction, concurrent to the other case and concurrent to each other. In May of 2012, there was a conviction for resisting obstructing. He was sentenced to 37 days jail consecutive to the earlier sentence imposed in April of that year. He's currently pending on 2 charges in Milwaukee County. 2020 CF 2550, he's charged with 2 counts, second-degree recklessly endangering safety while armed, and 1 count of felon in possession of a firearm. The date of that offense, all 3 offenses, is July 24 of 2020. It's believed he was arrested shortly after that incident and remained in custody in the Milwaukee County Jail until released on bail there for reasons of a speedy trial violation on March 3 of 2021. Bail at that time was lowered from $7,500 cash bail to $500 cash bail. In that case, Your Honor, it is alleged that he got into a fight with his nephew. The defendant fired 1 round from a handgun toward the vehicle that his nephew was in. The vehicle was occupied by another person, and that accounts for the 2 charges of reckless endangering safety. The next day, he was taken into custody and the residence where he was located, he was found to have a loaded 9mm handgun just a few feet away from him. The handgun was previously reported stolen. Again, he was a convicted felon on that date, so that accounts for the third charge. He's also currently pending in Milwaukee County case number 21 CF 4596. That has a date of offense of November 2, 2021. He's charged there with resisting, obstructing, felony bail jumping, second-degree reckless endangering safety in a domestic violence situation, domestic DC, and domestic battery. The allegations in that case, Your Honor, are that he struck the mother of his child in the face with a closed fist. Then as she was walking away from him, he intentionally ran her over with his vehicle. The vehicle in that matter described as what's believed to be the same maroon 2010 Ford Escape used in the allegations in this case. Police went to his home and found him getting out of that Ford Escape. The defendant ignored their commands to stop, and he tried to run into the house before he was apprehended. There's a long history of flight, obstructing, bail jumping type behavior, Your Honor. It's remarkable that these are violations all around the state of Wisconsin, not just his home county of Milwaukee, but we had convictions from Wood County, Manitowoc, and Langlade in northern Wisconsin. I'd like the court to be aware of a record from the state of Nevada. We'll go to Nevada first. That happened, the first conviction was from December 11th of 2006. He was found guilty at trial of a misdemeanor count for obstructing an officer, was sentenced to jail in Nevada. Also on that same day of December 11, 2006, he pled guilty to a domestic battery as a misdemeanor, and the court there ordered a suspended sentence. On March 16th of 2007, he pled guilty to statutory sexual seduction, a felony. The court ordered a suspended sentence for 36 months probation. He was also ordered to register on the Nevada Sex Offender Registry. He is currently noted to be non-compliant with that registration requirement. On June 23rd of 2016, he was charged with a sex offender registry violation, first offense. He failed to appear in court, and a warrant remains active for his arrest. So he currently has an outstanding warrant for his arrest in the state of Nevada. In Georgia, Your Honor, the record reflects a May 27, 2021 arrest for misdemeanor battery with a designation of family violence. While it is not clear if he was convicted, he did recently remark to a court official in this county that he had served a 6-month jail sentence in Georgia. So we have not been able to verify if that was a conviction, but certainly there was a confinement in conjunction with that arrest. He has no contact with the criminal justice system in Waukesha County or the district attorney's office. He does have a outstanding paternity case that's been pending since 2003, in which he was adjudicated as the father of a juvenile. And there's been returned court appearances over the years based on failure to pay child support. The court should know that a warrant or capias was issued for Mr. Brooks in this paternity case on at least 8 occasions. He has been sentenced to jail on several prior occasions for failing to pay that child support. And on one occasion, he had his Huber privileges revoked related to one of those jail sentences. That was back in 2009. Most recently, there was a warrant issued for his arrest in that non-support civil case on August 2 of 2021. Judge Maxwell signed an order for him to serve a 120-day jail sentence. Mr. Brooks did make a court appearance in that matter on November 16th of 2021, so just last week, 1 week ago. And he was released at that time because, again, he had explained to the court, provided an explanation that the reason he had not made his child support payments is because he was serving that jail sentence in Georgia. So the court released him that day and ordered him back for a court appearance in the paternity case for December. So Judge, just based on his prior record, we obviously have very significant concerns about Mr. Brooks' flight history and willingness to obey the orders of the court. But we have to factor in, obviously, the allegations in this case as well. And obviously, I don't need to state Mr. Brooks is facing 5 consecutive life sentences if he's convicted on all counts in this complaint. I wish to notify the court, sadly, that today we learned of another death of a child related to this case. We do expect a 6th count for first-degree intentional homicide to be issued or added, to this case. I can advise the court that I am aware, I've been made aware through investigators that there are other individuals in critical condition. I think we remarked on the number of actual injured parties in our complaint. It exceeds 60 people. There's a number of other charges that we are reviewing and considering, but certainly, at the very least, we do intend to file a 6th count of intentional homicide, maybe Friday or maybe early next week, depending on when we can accomplish that. Certainly, if we have any other deaths resulting from this incident, additional counts of homicide will be filed. We didn't charge bail jumping. Obviously, we could have. We have focused our efforts to date on the immediate concern, and that involves the loss of life that is alleged to have occurred through the conduct of Mr. Brooks. I want this court to know, and I think the court has read the complaint. You've indicated you've read the complaint. There are not words to describe the risk that this defendant presents to our community. Not only flight risk, but the dangerousness that he presents, his history of violence, and the allegations in this complaint where it is stated plainly that on several occasions he was told to stop by police officers. They risked their own safety to try and step in front of the car to stop him. Everything was done to get him to stop, and he just simply continued down the roadway, causing death and destruction in his path. So I am advocating for a significant cash bail, Your Honor. I'm asking for $5 million cash bail. I know that's a large amount of money, but I think it is warranted on this history, and I think it's warranted when the court considers, if convicted, Mr. Brooks will spend the rest of his life in prison. Thank you.
Thank you. Attorney Perry.
Thank you, Commissioner. When this court determines...
So, it took like 8 minutes to read that shit off. It just went on forever. So, which leads me to wonder what the blue check marks have to say. So let's take a look. If you type into Google, Darrell Brooks is a hero, youth's future tweet. Darrell Brooks is a hero in my book. Darrell Brooks is a hero in my book. He took it for the team. #BLM. So he did set the bail for, I think, like about $5 million. I wasn't about to play the whole thing because the 8 minutes was long enough. I mean, just 8 minutes of rap sheet. I mean, this idiot's rap sheet is longer than the entire works of James Joyce and the Bible put together. It just went on. It was just a never-ending thing. Let's see, on Reddit, Trans Kids Rock. Let's see, Darrell Brooks is a hero. On Twitter, I'll say it again, Math Boy Fly, a.k.a. Darrell Brooks is a hero. Spoiled mayonnaise needs to be humbled for its crime against humanity. So, again, because ignorant morons didn't watch the Kyle Rittenhouse case, they're like, this is like justice for the black community. Not a single black was shot by Kyle Rittenhouse. In fact, the only attacker that wasn't shot was black. Okay, all of the people that were shot by Rittenhouse, all of his attackers, the assailants, were all white. Okay, the only attacker that didn't get shot was black. All right, so that falls flat on its face. But like again, you have the media whipping these morons up. The media whipped these clowns up. This idiot that ran these people over. And like I said, you've got people on Twitter and Facebook calling this guy a hero. This is I guarantee you, there's libtards that I'm friends with on Facebook that are going to go, oh, he was such a great guy, what a hero. I mean, did you hear that rap sheet? I mean, the guys, they were cheering on in the Rittenhouse trial the pedophiles that got shot. Oh, the pedophiles are so wonderful. Oh, the pedophiles didn't deserve to die, and Kyle should have just accepted death. And this is how fucking stupid the left is. And I guarantee you, this Darrell Brooks clown, he's just like George Floyd. In New Jersey and New York, they erected a 700-pound statue to Floyd, that moron. So I guarantee you Brooks is going to see a 700-pound statue. And as far as that $5 million bail, don't kid yourself. I guarantee you the left is going to probably start a GoFundMe if it hasn't already. Let's see. Let's look at Darrell Brooks. Raise money for bail. You got to make sure you put these quotes in too a lot of times, because the algorithms like to hide things you're not supposed to see. GoFundMe deletes $5 million fundraiser for a Waukesha suspect. So they had already tried to start a GoFundMe. BLM accused of launching bail fund. So, like I said, the left is going to raise the money for this clown and bail him out. I didn't even have to do a search, and I already GoFundMe page. So the GoFundMe was in an awkward position. Normally the GoFundMe sides with the left, but this one was like so out there that even they had to turn it down. But the left is actively starting a funding for the bail, because they do view this clown as a hero. They literally do. I guarantee you there's morons on my Facebook page, that and my Twitter and my Minds accounts. I guarantee you there's a few assholes out there that see this clown as a hero. Anyway, that's the video. And so I'll be watching this shithead's case and listening to the libtards that I have to deal with on social media cheer him on. They're just glad that that white children would died and 5 dead and a child, because they see injustice in the Rittenhouse case, and this is revenge. And yay! I mean, these are the scumbags. I really think that it's time to just wall off the cities and just make them into penal colonies for libtards, and just okay, you have your little world and your little president, and you do your thing, and we'll be over here doing our thing, and just let them starve themselves to death on their tofu, because eventually nobody's going to be working and nobody's going to be producing anything, and they'll eventually just die. So that's where we're at. God, I hate these assholes so much. Anyway, that's the video. I'll catch you later. Bye.